I'm Lynn Spears, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
It's the first time for me here. Is this the first time for you?
Yeah, this is my first time here. I've done a lot of, fairs and stuff this summer, but this one's big. This one's really big. So this was fun. I was excited to be a part of it. So it seems like, the fair is almost like an amusement park. Where we're from, we don't have them that big.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about fairs and country music. I mean, is it supposed to be that way? Because I feel like a lot more country artists do fair concerts than they do any other concert.
Well, I think the difference probably is like, country music tends to be a southern rooted thing, and where we're from, we don't have all the amenities and all the big things y'all have. So we really have to find reasons to bring the community together, and we have to find reasons to, like, stuff for us to do out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So I think that, the community comes together, everybody comes together, they get a fair in town, and it gives us something to look forward to, which, in bigger cities, it's kind of like they have so much going on all the time, and I think that's kind of been the difference.
Okay, and when you decided you were going to start doing the music, obviously aside from the writing and the material, you got to figure out your band and your musicians. So how did you go about with that process, and why did you choose the people that you have in your band today?
Well, the thing is like there's so many talented people, especially in Nashville, and you have to find guys that want to get on the road, and that's hard sometimes. But my producer Corey Crowder, he gets me, he knows me well, and he let me have kind of a meeting with each of the guys that I'm on the road with now, and it's good to have someone who can kind of vet them out a little bit for you, who knows you and who knows what you're looking for musically and personally. And the guys that I have now, not only are they talented, but they're great. They're great guys. And so that's just kind of one of those things that it just was a perfect fit. And it's personal. Everybody decides something different. But for me, it was like, these were the guys, and it's a personal choice. For everyone, it's different.
Yeah. Now let's jump into your EP that's been out for a couple months already, the Journey EP. It's a great EP, but my one complaint is that it's too short.
Oh,
like, I want to keep hearing more music and more music. But I mean, like, tell me, coming into this record, it's the first time people are going to hear you as far as music goes. So, I mean, why did you choose to dive in to a more open, get to know me from now on type thing?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but I guess the main thing is after I had my little girl, I kind of had to reevaluate and figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I went to Nashville and I started writing with no intentions of what kind of music was going to come out, if I was ever going to perform it, or if this was just for me. And when I started writing, it just came out this way, and it felt so good, and it just felt good to, connect to my music. And then it took me 6 years before I was actually brave enough to let it out and, let people. I've been writing for 6 years, but finally, I think I'm in a place where musically and personally I'm ready to let it out there. And I wanted to give a sneak peek because my fans, they've been so loyal and so patient. I knew it was time for me to, give them something they could hold on to and have to listen. So I, did my best to pick 5 songs out of all the songs I have. And there's so many more songs that I wanted to put on there, but you have to be selective when you're doing something like that. And I feel like those 5 songs are a really good representation of the artist I am, and I'm really proud of those songs.
Now, when you're performing these songs live, where do you see the most reception as far as the fan interaction goes?
Well, when I perform live at most of my shows, I do, of course, some of the EP, but I do a lot of songs that are not available except for, on YouTube clips or something. And it's been odd that on my EP, one of the songs that I didn't know people would gravitate towards so much was Big Bad World. Okay. People really, they really love that song. When I ask them, like, what's your favorite on the EP, that seems to be one that surprisingly people love.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, because I grew up with rock and roll and, punk scene and stuff like that. So I like the more energized music. So for sure, Mandolin was one of my favorites.
Oh, good. See, I love hearing that.
That's good. That's good.
You never know. That's, it's funny because some people are more lyric driven, some people are more beat driven, but it's, I love hearing that.
Now, do you like to rock out on stage, or do you like to be more, chill back there and just sing your heart out, or?
It depends on the day, and it also depends on the audience. When you're doing more intimate kind of settings where you have a more laid-back crowd who they just want to hear some music and some good lyrics, you play it by ear. And if you have a crowd that has high energy, then of course you just, you go for it. It just depends. Every show's different, though.
Now, you're saying you're playing other music that it's not even out yet. So is this something that you're considering for a debut album, or it's just stuff that you're just testing out, as you're playing on tour?
Really, it's kind of stuff that I'm testing out, and I love to see the crowd's reaction to it and see what they really love. But it's it's about too kind of making sense through the whole through all the songs a consistent story. And I feel like I choose that. Sometimes I take some songs out, put another one in. It just really depends on, you know, what we're feeling that day.
Now, with this EP, you opened up to everybody. You know, they know everything about you for now. But when you work on your record, do you feel like you still have to touch that topic, or can you maybe go into a different theme?
Well, I think all of my songs cover a big basis. It's not just about me explaining who I am. It's about connecting with people and telling stories. And I really, when I write and when I perform and when I hopefully choose, you know, songs for my debut album, I really want to pick songs that connect to the audience. It's not just about me. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the audience. So clearly it's about connecting with them and, you know, taking my lessons and using them to, you know, sing and get out there and just connect with people.
And what kind of person are you in the studio when either writing or recording?
Well, when I'm writing, it depends on it. It's like sometimes like I know what I want and I'm very clear. Some days I'm just very ADD and I just can't focus on one topic. In the studio, I'm extremely emotional. I'm very attached to it, and I know that like, and when you get in there and you're like in this dark room and you're singing these lyrics, especially, you know, ones that are really vulnerable, it definitely kind of, you know, it brings you back there. I get emotional, and then happy ones, then I'm just like ready to just go out there and rock out. But I definitely get very into the moment and into the song when I'm in the studio.
Okay. And growing up, you were on tour with your sister.
Yes.
Were you too young to remember, or do you remember any you know, things, do's or don'ts for being on the road that you're probably using now on the road?
Well, I mean, growing up on the road and seeing that, first, I feel like I just loved every part of it. I loved the behind the scenes part. I loved every bit of it. But I would just have to say it's, you know, you just need to keep a routine every day. Don't, you know, I think that was really important, seeing how disciplined she was. And I think that that's something that I carried over, just making sure, you know, I have my green tea every day and having the little things that keep things consistent and keep you prepared for the show that night.
Now, for this EP, you're currently independent. Do you plan on getting with a record label before you drop the album, or, you know, whether you have a record label or not, you're going to drop an album?
Well, I mean, I think that in the future it's kind of just about figuring out what makes the best sense for me and my music. And I'm never going to say never to anything, but right now I'm just playing my music and figuring that out. And as the steps come along, we'll figure it out. You know, figure it out as that door comes.
Yeah. And what do you think makes country so different from every other genre out there?
Well, I think that music in general is a way of expressing yourself, and I think the thing that country music started in and was rooted in was you really have a really amazing format to tell your story and be honest, and that's why I fell in love with country music.
Okay, and you've done radio tours and you've done fair tours. Do you see any, you know, headlining tour for you, Jamie Lynn Spears, coming anytime soon?
I think that I think right now I'm still kind of, you know, I'm still building myself up. I've still got a lot of learning to do and a lot of more shows to, you know, get out there and do before I can, you know, put my name and take that kind of responsibility on.
And what has been one of the toughest things of being a musician right now?
I believe traveling and having to be away from family. That's the hardest thing. I try to do a really good with planning it, but anything more than a day away, it just feels like too long.
And is there anything else we can expect from the remainder of the year from you?
You know, I'm just going to be getting out there playing my music, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, and one last thing, the lyric videos, you released you released the remainder of the songs through lyric videos.
Mm-hmm.
Can we expect music videos anytime soon? And if so, which would be the first song that you would love to drop a music video for?
You know, when you're an artist and you write a song, you envision the video. So all of them, I think that I'm excited to do, and it really depends on what my next single would be. Okay. So that's hard to pinpoint, but I think all of my songs would have like a really cool story with them. I think that's, you know, the fun part about doing what we do.